Good day. Who's awake this good Saturday, July 13th, 2024, the anniversary of the third secret of Fatima? Hello, Denise. Hello, Maria. I see Europe is awake. You better be, right? Okay. Again, let's get started with morning prayers. And instead of going back to St. Catherine of Siena, which I know you all want, which we are going to do tomorrow, we'll talk a little bit about the third apparition, which includes the three secrets that were so called. All right, let's begin with morning prayers. In nomine Dei, matronam nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Let us place ourselves in the presence of the Trinitarian Theophany, and in Catholic contemplation humbly venerate the Divine Family. Most Holy and Venerable Trinitarian Theophany, one Divine Family, I believe that Thou art here present. I venerate Thee with the deepest humility. I render to Thee with my whole heart the homage which is due to Thee. O Trinitarian Theophany, relying on Thine infinite goodness and promises, I hope to obtain the pardon of my sins, the help of Thy grace, and life everlasting, through the merits of Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Matronam Nostrae. O Trinitarian Theophany, I love Thee above all things with my whole heart and soul, because Thou art all good and worthy of all love. I love my neighbor as myself for love of Thee, and I forgive all who have injured me and ask pardon of all whom I have injured. Let us thank the Trinitarian Theophany for the many graces that we receive and offer ourselves in our sufferings up to heaven, and for the souls in purgatory. O Trinitarian Theophany, I most humbly thank Thee for all the favors Thou hast bestowed upon me to the present moment. It is again thanks to Thy bounty that I should live to see this day, and I desire to employ it solely in Thy service. I consecrate to Thee all my thoughts, words, actions, and sufferings of this day. Sanctify them, that there may be none that is not animated by Thy love, or that would not tend to Thy greater glory. Let us make a firm resolution to avoid evil and to do good, and let us beg of the Trinitarian Theophany the graces which are necessary to us. O Trinitarian Theophany, Thou knowest my weakness, and that I am unable to do anything good without the help of Thy grace. Deny me not Thy grace proportionate to my necessities. Give me strength to avoid everything which Thou forbiddest, to practice the good which Thou hast commanded, and enable me patiently to bear all the trials which it may please Thee to send me. O Dea Matronam Nostrae, I place myself under Thy protection. I throw myself with confidence into the arms of Thy compassion. Be to me, O Mother of Mercy, my refuge in distress, my consolation in suffering, now and at the hour of my death. O most holy Trinitarian Theophany, Dea Matronam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. I am heartily sorry for having offended Thee, and I detest all my sins, because I dread the loss of heaven and the pains of hell, but most of all because they offend Thee, O most holy Trinitarian Theophany, Dea Matronam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, who are all good and deserving of all my love. I firmly resolve with the help of Thy grace to confess my sins, to do penance, and to amend my life. Fatima, Portugal. The Apparition of Our Lady, July 13th, 1917. The third apparition of Our Lady, God Our Lady, was on Friday, July 13th, 1917. Our Lady asked the children again to sacrifice themselves for sinners. It was the key apparition, as would be discovered later. Namely, during that day, the children got revelations later on that will be called or known as the secret of Fatima. One part of the secret was the vision of hell, where the souls of poor sinners go, as Deum Matronam Nostrae said. She told the children that to save the sinners, God, the Trinitarian Theophany, wishes to establish in the world devotion to her Immaculate Heart. Our Lady said that she will come later to ask for the consecration of Russia to her Immaculate Heart and the communion of reparation on the first Saturdays. And then the third part of the secret can be found at OurLadyIsGod.com, and it is authenticated. It's the only place on the internet where it can be found to the public, publicly available. This is from her memoirs, Sister Lucia's memoirs, from the fourth memoir, 1948, December 8th. A few moments after arriving at the Cova da Iria, near the Home Oak, where a large number of people were praying the rosary, we saw the flash of light once more, and a moment later, Our Lady appeared on the Home Oak. "Your Grace, what do you want of me?" I asked. "I want you to come here on the 13th of next month to continue to pray the rosary every day in honor of Our Lady of the Rosary, in order to obtain peace for the world and the end of the war, because only Our Lady can help you. I would like to ask you to tell us who you are," this is Lucia speaking, "who you are, and to work a miracle so that everybody will believe that you are appearing to us." She responds, "Continue to come here every month. In October, I will tell you who I am and what I want, and I will perform a miracle for all to see and believe." I then made some requests, but I cannot recall now just what they were. What I do remember is that Our Lady said it was necessary for such people to pray the rosary in order to obtain these graces during the year. And she continued, "Sacrifice yourselves for sinners, and say many times, especially whenever you make some sacrifice, O Deum Iesum Christum, it is for love of you, for the conversion of sinners, and in reparation for the sins committed against my Immaculate Heart." Or the Immaculate Heart of Deum Matronam Nostrae. As Our Lady spoke these last words, she opened her hands once more, as she had done during the 2 previous months. The rays of light seemed to penetrate the earth, and we saw, as it were, a sea of fire. Plunged in this fire were demons and souls in human form, like transparent burning embers, all blackened or burnished bronze, floating about in the conflagration, now raised into the air by the flames that issued from within themselves, together with great clouds of smoke, now falling back on every side like sparks in huge fires, without weight or equilibrium, amid shrieks and groans of pain and despair, which horrified us and made us tremble with fear. It must have been this sight which caused me to cry out, as people say they heard me. The demons could be distinguished by their terrifying and repellent likeness to frightful and unknown animals. black and transparent like burning coals. Terrified, and as if to plead for succor, we looked up at Our Lady, who said to us so kindly and so sadly, "You have seen hell, where the souls of poor sinners go. To save them, the Trinitarian Theophany wishes to establish in the world devotion to my Immaculate Heart. If what I say to you is done, many souls will be saved, and there will be peace. The war is going to end, but if people do not cease offending the Trinitarian Theophany, a worse one will break out during the pontificate of Pius XI. When you see a night illumined by an unknown light, know that this is the great sign given you by the Trinitarian Theophany, that we are about to punish the world for its crimes by means of war, famine, and persecutions of the Church and of the Holy Father. To prevent this, I shall come to ask for the consecration of Russia to my Immaculate Heart and the communion of reparation on the first Fridays. If my requests are heeded, Russia will be converted and there will be peace. If not, she will spread her errors throughout the world, causing wars and persecutions of the Church. The good will be martyred. The Holy Father will have much to suffer. Various nations will be annihilated. In the end, my Immaculate Heart will triumph. The Holy Father will consecrate Russia to me, and she will be converted, and a period of peace will be granted to the world. In Portugal, the dogma of the faith will always be preserved, etc. Do not tell this to anybody. Francisco, yes, you may tell him. When you pray the rosary, say after each mystery, O my Dame Jesum Christum, forgive us, save us from the fire of hell. Lead all souls to heaven, especially those who are in most need. After this, there was a moment of silence, and then I asked, Your Grace, is there anything more that you want of me? No, I do not want anything more of you today. Then, as before, Our Lady began to ascend towards the east until she finally disappeared in the immense distance of the firmament. Firmament. That was from Sister Lucia's memoirs, the fourth memoir, the story of the apparitions. There's a couple more notes here that from that article. Pope Pius XI was Pope from February 6th, 1922 to February 10th, 1939. So obviously that was the second war that broke out. The war is going to end, but if people do not cease offending God, a worse one will break out during the pontificate of Pius XI. Another couple of quotes here. We place the vast campaign of the Church against world communism. And that is what Pius XI said in Divini Redemptoris. And another quote here, the Church is the center of the universe, the sphere in which its destinies are determined. Interesting how, so if the Church goes down, so goes the world. And that was by Vladimir Lossky, The Mystical Theology of the Eastern Church, Chapter 9, Two Aspects of the Church. I'd be interested in reading that book. He had quite some insights. Okay, so that is our lesson for today. is to contemplate the third apparition, the anniversary of the third apparition. Contemplate what hell looks like according to the vision of Saint Lucia, and to make sure that we say our prayers in our rosary to save many souls. And also ask for your prayers for our venture to look at a motorhome today. An old beauty. We'll keep you posted. Let's begin Mass. Deum vobiscum et quoque apud te. Oremus. O Trinitarian Theophany, the Creator and Redeemer of all the faithful, grant to the souls of thy servants and handmaids the remission of all their sins, that they may obtain by loving prayers the forgiveness which they have always desired, who livest and reignest with thee, one Trinitarian Theophany, forever and ever. Suscipe Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum Hanc Immaculatum Hostiam, quam ego indignus famulos tuus offerit tibi Deum meum vivum et verum, pro inimitabibus peccatis et offensionibus et negligencies meis, et pro omnibus circumstantibus, sere pro omnibus fidelibus catholicorum vivis atque defunctis ut mihi et idis proficiat ad salutem. Deum qui humanae substantiae dignitatem mirabilit condilitia mirabilis reformatio da nobis spiritus atquae et divini mysterium eius divinitatis esse consortes qui humanitatis nostrae fieri dignatis es parteceps. Deum Iesum Christum Filium qui tecum vivit et regnat in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Offerimus tibi Deum calicem salutaris tuum deprecantes clementium, ut conspecto divinae majestatis tuae, pro nostra totius mundi, salute cum odore suavitatis ascendat. In spiritu humilitatis et in anima contritu suscipiam rate Deum Iesum Christum et sequiet sacrificium nostrum et conspecto tu hodie, ut placeat tibi Deum matronam nostrae et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Veni sanctificator Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, et sanctificite plata pro secundo, et accepere hoc sacrificium tuo sancto nomini praeparatum. Suscipe Sancta Trinitas contemplationem con tibi afferimus amamam passiones, resurrectiones et ascensiones Deum Iesum Christum, et in honorem Deum matronam nostrae et Papa Peter Sanctorum et Istorum et Omnium Sanctorum, ut idis proficiat ad honorem nobis autem ad salutem, et idi pro nobis intercedere, dignenter in caelis, quorum amorem agimus in tedis per innum Christum Deum nostrum. Orate, utum eam equestrum, sacrificium acceptabile fiat ab Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Suscipiat Deum Iesum Christum sacrificium de manibus tuis ad laudem et gloriam nominis sui ad tuditatem quoque nostram totiusque ecclesiae suae sanctae. Deum vobiscum, quoque apud te, sursum corda habemus ad Deum. Gratias agamus Deum nostrum, dignum et justum est. Te egetor clementissime Mater Pater Deum Matron nostrae, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per Deum Iesum Christum Filium Tuum Deum nostrae, supplices rogamus et petimus, uti accepta habeas et sanctificas, haec sanctam sacrificium ilibata. In primis quae tibi efferimus pro ecclesiam tuam sanctam catholicam, quam pacificare custodire honore et regere digneris toto viterarum atque catholicae. Memento Deum, famalorum que tuorum. We pray for the sick and the suffering. We pray especially for Katie, Gage, Mindy, Clarette, Caitlin, Neil and Earl Lively, Mark Jr., Marie Josephina Mose, Henry Barber and Benedict Santa Croce, Casey, Mr. Nobody, Ann Bultink, the Cantu and Duarte families, Jenna, Lena, Lori, Aaron and family, Maria and the Line Weber family, the Cahill, Kendrick, Dasco, Nye, Tafour, Began, and Wolf families. And we pray for Mr. Nobody to receive the funding and strength needed to complete the first Sede Vacantis Catholic Council office in Monastery of Illinois. We pray for an end to all governmental allowance or sanctioning of abortion, transgenderism, transhumanism, child trafficking, child abuse, any kind of ritual abuse or trafficking, anywhere, place, or time. We pray for the establishment of a Catholic monarchy with sound systems of labor, with human value in mind, with solid medium of exchange, and without usury. We pray that courageous Catholic men step forward as leaders of this Catholic society. We pray for wisdom on how to grow natural foods and raise natural animals in quality and in care. We ask for the conversion of all sinners trapped in a state of mortal sin, especially the ignorant. We ask that all quote-unquote gay marriage, pornography, and the OnlyFans platform be stopped immediately, and that women come to recognize their value, and as such, with the raising of traditional Catholic families, they realize this is the highest ideal in a Catholic society. Pray that the monetary system gets set up again so that men can provide sufficiently without the slavery of the mind and the body in a Jewish world controlled. We ask Deum Matronam Nostrae, Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, to destroy the satanic document of Vatican law that is the Jewish Talmud, to destroy Rome and the Vatican, and recognize the transfer of the authority of the Catholic Church to Fatima, Portugal. We ask you to continue to block any passage of any so-called pandemic treaty, and to prevent the lies and spread of lies about fake diseases. All this we ask in accordance with the Trinitarian Theophany's holy and divine will. Et Omnium circumstantiam quorum tibi fides cognitas et nota devotio pro quibus tibi afferimus, vel tibi frontox sacrificium laudis, proces visque omnibus, pro redemptione animarum suarum prospe salutis et egolamitatis suae. Tibi queredum vota sua aeterno Deum vivo et vero. Communicantes et memoriam venerantes in primis gloriosae, semper Deum Matronam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et beatorum martyrium tuorum Papae Sancti Petri, et Sancti Luci, et Sancti Jacinta, et Sancti Francisco, et Sancti Juan Diego, et omnium sanctorum tuorum quorum meritis praecibusque cancedas, ut in omnibus protectionis tuae moneam auxilio, per innum Christum Deum nostrum. Quam oblationem te Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum in omnibus, consecratum acceptabilumque feceri digniris ut nobis corpum, et sanguinem fiat delictissimi Filium Tuum Deum Iesum Christum. Qui pridie quam pateretor, accepet panem in sancta sacro honorabilis manus suas, et edivatis oculis in caelum, a te Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum suum omnipotentem tibi gratias agens, consecravit, fregit didique lumnis sui dicens, accipite et mandate ex hoc omnes. Hoc est enim corpus meum. Simini modo postquam ceremonia est, accipienser hunc preclarum calicem in sancta aqua honorabilis manus suas, item tibi gratias agens, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, consecravit, didique lumnis sui dicens, accipite et bibite exe omnes. Hic est enim calix sanguinis mei mysterium fidei, quae pro nobis et pro multis effundetur in remissione peccatorum. Haec quod escum praefigeritis in me mono pacetis. Unde et memores Deum nos servitui, sed plebs tua sancta iustem, Christum filium tuum Deum nostrae, tam beatae passiones, nec non et in feris resurrectionis, sed et in caelos gloriosae ascensionis afferimus, praeclare maestati tuae de tuis donis actatis. Supra quae propitio ac sereno vutur respicere digneris. Supplices te regamus Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, iubi haec patere per manus tuum ut ex hoc altaris participatione sacrosanctum Deum Filium tuum, corpus et sanguinem seminus, omni sanctificatione caelestia gratia Dei per amor Filium Christum Deum nostrae. We pray for those who have died. We especially pray for Leela LaPlante, for whom this Mass is being offered. Ipsis Deum et omnibum in Christum quis gentibum locum refugere lucis et pacis ut dolorge est apracamur per in Christum Deum nostrum, per quem haec omnia Deum Iesum Christum semper bona creas, sanctificas, vivicas, consecratis et praestas nobis. Per ipsum et cum ipso et in ipso, est tibi Deum Matrum omnipotente in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, omnis honor et gloria. Ave Dea, Matronam Nostrae, gratia plena Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum tecum. Dea, Matronam Nostrae, Materam Deum Iesum Christum, misericordia nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostrae. Libera nos, quae sumus Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, ab omnibus malis, praeteritis, praesentibus et futuris, et intercedente beata et gloriosa semper Dea Matronam Nostrae. Cum Papa Petrum Sanctorum et omnibus sanctis da propitiis pacem in dibus nostris, ut op misericordiae tuae aduiti et peccato, simus semper liberi et ab omni perturbatione securi. Per iundum Deum nostrum Iesum Christum Filium tuum Deum nostrum, qui ticum vivit et reinat in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per aeternam pax Deum Iesum Christum sed semper vobiscum et quoque apote. Haec commixtio et consecratio corporis et sanguinis Deum Iesum Christum, fiat accipientibus nobis in salutem aeternam. Pax tecum, et quoque apud te. Deum Iesum Christum, qui ex voluntate Deum matronam nostrae, qua prante Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per mortem tuam unum vivificasti, libera me per hoc sacro sanctum corpus et sanguinum tuum ab omnibus iniquitatibus meis, et universis malis, et fac me tue semper in harare mandatis, et et numquam separare permittas, qui cum eo dem Deum matronam nostrae, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, vivis et regnam aeternam. Perceptio corporis tui Deum Iesum Christum, quod ego indignus sumere praesumum non mihi proveniat in indicium et condemnationem, sed pro tua pietate prosit mihi attutamente medis corporis, et adam et elam peticipiendam, qui vivis et regnas, cum Deum matronam nostrae, in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Panem caelestem accipiem et nomen Deum Iesum Christum invocabo. Deum matronam nostrae non sunt dignus, ut intercedete meis in tanto de verbos in apparition anima mea. Deum Iesum Christum non sunt dignus, ut intercedete meis in tanto de verbos in apparition anima mea. Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum non sunt dignus, ut intercedete meis in tanto de verbos in apparition anima mea. Corpus Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet anima mea. Quid retribuum Deum Iesum Christum pro omnibus quae retribuit mihi? Calicem salutaris accipiem et nomen Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum invocabo. Laudans invocabo Deum matronam nostrae et ab inimicis meis salvus ero. Sanguis Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet anima mea. Corpus Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet animam tuum. Quodore subsumus Deum Iesum Christum puramente capiamus et immunere temperae fit nobis remedium sempiternum. Corpus tuum Deum Iesum Christum quod sumpsi sanguis quam potaviat haeriat visceribus meis et praesta ut in me non remania scelerum macula quem pura et sancta refecerunt. Deum vobiscum, et quoque apotei. Oremus. May the prayer of thy suppliants profit the souls of thy servants and handmaids, we beseech thee, O Trinitarian Theophany, that thou mayest free them from all sins and make them sharers in thy redemption, who livest and reignest with thee, one Trinitarian Theophany, forever and ever. Deum vobiscum, et quoque apotei, ite mise est. Deum gratia. Placeat tibi sancta Trinitam, obsequium servitutis meae, et praesta ut sacrificium cor oculis tuae majestatis igninus obtuli tivis et acceptabile mihique et omnibus pro quibus irut obtuli siti misserante perpetuabile per Christum Deum nostrum. Sanctificat vos omnipotens Deum, Matronam et Filium et Spiritum Sanctum, Deum Matronam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Gracias. Most Holy Trinitarian Theophany, I believe, I venerate, I hope, and I love thee. I beg of thee pardon for those who do not believe, do not venerate, do not hope, and do not love thee. Most Holy Trinitarian Theophany, Deum Matronam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, I venerate thee profoundly, and I offer to thee the most precious body, blood, soul, and divinity of Deum Iesum Christum present here, in reparation for the outrages, sacrileges, and indifference by which he himself is offended. And through the infinite merits of his most sacred heart and immaculate heart of Deum Matronam Nostrae, I beg of thee the conversion of poor sinners. In nomine Deum Matronam Nostrae, Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Gracias. So the message of Fatima was really a difficult one for the church, especially right after they ended and going into the 50s and 60s when Russia became really a stronger communist country with, its Jewish collaborators or instigators, and they had enabled many of the communist followers or sympathizers, or whatever you want to call it, to infiltrate the Catholic Church seminaries in the United States and around the world so that they might destroy her from within. And it was pretty much successful. They destroyed the seminaries. They weakened a lot of the strength of the dogma, and they caused great suppression of Fatima, especially Sister Lucia. And she suffered greatly, which was predicted because the popes didn't follow the requests of Deum Matronam Nostrae. So we hope to continue to pray to make that a reality, and that we preserve the original Catholic faith and have it ready for when it's called to really take the buildings back and make it available to all the people. So please continue to say your rosary. Continue to contemplate, Catholic contemplation, and practice the virtues. Hello, Elaine and CJ, and thank you for attending, and for everybody who's attending and helping out. Really appreciate your donations. It's much, much welcomed and needed. We order supplies and whatnot for that. And also, if, Deum willing, this motorhome idea works, I do want to travel and to offer the Mass on the road. And again, we'll do it public like this. I think people would enjoy that and benefit as well from the sacrament. All right, please go and sanctify everybody who meet. We'll see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Have a great day.